everyone, welcome to episode 1 of my Jellycat Crochet Challenge. I'm Ashley from AQCrochets, and if you love cute crochet plushies, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I've always loved how adorable Jellycat plushies look, so I thought, why not try recreating them in crochet form? This challenge is all about bringing their lovable designs to life with yarn and a hook. To kick things off, I went straight to the Jellycat website and looked through their best sellers. And the one that caught my eye is the Amusables Pretzel. This plushie is super cute, not too complicated, and the perfect plushie to start this series. So keep watching to see how my crochet version of the Amusables Pretzel turns out. I picked out these two shades of brown for this project. The darker brown will be for the legs, and the lighter brown will be for the pretzel. I'm going to start out by crocheting the classic Jellycat legs because once I know how big they are, it'll help me figure out the right size for the pretzel. So I'm going to take my dark brown yarn and jump into designing the pattern for the legs. I don't want this plushie to be too big, so I'm going to try to make these legs as small as I can while still making sure they look like the classic Jellycat beat. I had a pretty clear idea in my head of what I wanted, so it didn't take much trial and error. I shaped the foot into a little sphere, added some stuffing, and then continued with single crochets to finish the leg. Now that the first leg is done, I'm going to single crochet across the top to make sewing it on easier later. And then I'm going to cut up the yarn and leave a long tail for sewing. I'm not going to pull through the yarn yet just in case I need to add or remove any rows after I make the pretzel. With both legs done, it's time to start crocheting the pretzel. I'll be crocheting a long tube for the pretzel, so hopefully it's pretty straightforward, but we'll see how it goes. For the yarn, I'm using Parfait Chunky in the color Teddy Bear, which I think is the perfect brown color for the pretzel. And fingers crossed it doesn't take too long to finish. I'm starting out with the magic ring, and since the pretzel is basically just a tube shape, I'm doing single crochets all around for most of it. I totally forgot that I should be stuffing as I go. As the tube gets longer and longer, it'll be harder to stuff the beginning section since the tube is pretty narrow, so it's pretty important that I remember to stuff as I go along. Here's what the legs look like with the pretzel so far. I think it looks proportionate, but I'll get a better sense once I crochet more. So far, I crocheted around 30 rows. If you look at the original Jellycat pretzel, the area where the face goes is slightly wider than the rest. So I'm going to start increasing now to make that section a bit bigger. Hopefully this is about the halfway point, otherwise I'll have to frog it if it's not. Just in case, I'm adding a stitch marker at the start of the increase round, so I'll know exactly where to undo it until if it doesn't work out. And then we're going to keep doing single crochets all around to build up the length of the tube. And this is what my pretzel is looking like so far. After shaping the tube into a pretzel shape, unfortunately, I don't think the increases are in the right spot, so I'll have to frog this section. This definitely sucks, but it's part of the pattern design process. Luckily, I marked where I started increasing, so I'll just undo back to that point. I've decided to keep the tube the same width throughout, since it looks like it'll be big enough to add the face. I'm using Parfait Chunky yarn, which isn't the easiest to frog since it's a chenille yarn, but hopefully it goes smoothly. I'm undoing around 30 rounds of work, which is quite a lot. I've designed over 60 crochet patterns so far, and most of the time my first attempt doesn't work out. If you're into pattern designing as well, definitely don't give up after your first try because it's not unusual for it to not work out the first time. And my biggest tip for frogging chenille yarn is to do sharp, quick pulls like what I'm doing here, as this can help with making sure that the yarn does not shed. Okay, so I finished frogging and I undid all the stitches all the way up to the stitch marker that I had put in before. This is all the yarn that I ended up frogging, and this is around 30 rounds of yarn. And this is all the stuffing that I had to take out since I stuffed as I went along. Now we're going to restart with single crochets all around, and I'm going to make the tube shape an even width throughout. The nice thing about this is that I don't have to count stitches since I just need to crochet around and around until it's the length that I need. Here's a quick update of what my pretzel looks like so far. If I twist the tube, you can kind of see the pretzel shape taking form. So we're maybe halfway done, and I'm going to keep crocheting to build up the length of the pretzel. Update, this is how well my pretzel is now after doing a few more rounds. I'm still not finished yet, but I did want to go ahead and see how much I have left to crochet. It's a little difficult to hold its shape, but the pretzel looks like this so far, and I still think I need to crochet a few more rounds so that I have enough space to add the pretzel's eyes and mouth. But we're almost done. So now I'm crocheting another few rounds. Okay, so I've done a few more rounds and I shaped the tube to look like a pretzel, and this is what the plushie is looking like. I still need to close up the plushie, but I really like how it looks. I added the eyes and I'll embroider the smile after I've sewn the pretzel in place. I'm going to do my decrease rounds to close off the tube, and we'll be done with the main part of the pretzel. Here's what my finished tube looks like before shaping. Now I'm going to wrap it into a pretzel. I'm using a photo of the Jellycat Amusables pretzel for reference so I can match the twist exactly. It's actually trickier than I thought to get it symmetrical. I'm making small adjustments to get it just right. I really like how it's looking now. It matches the Jellycat shape perfectly. I'm going to use the yarn tail from this end to sew it onto the body, and then I cut another piece of yarn to secure the other side. I'll make sure everything is symmetrical before sewing it down. This is what my pretzel is looking like after I've sewn it in place. Next, I'm going to embroider the mouth, and then I'm going to sew on the legs. I'm also going to use cream yarn to embroider salt flecks all throughout the front of the plushie. So here I am sewing on the legs to the bottom of the Jellycat. I'm being really careful to sew the legs evenly under the face. It's such an iconic part of the Jellycat look, so placement is super important. This is what my Jellycat looks like so far after adding the mouth and sewing on the legs. Next, I'm going to use cream-colored yarn to embroider little salt flakes across the front of the pretzel. I'm spacing them out evenly to keep the finished plushie looking cute and balanced. And finally, I thought I needed one more touch, blush. I'm using pink yarn to add a little pop of color. I know that the original Jellycat version doesn't have blush, but I think it makes the plushie look extra cute and gives it more personality. And here it is, my finished Jellycat inspired Amusables pretzel. I think it turned out so cute and I'm really happy with all the details. This pretzel plushie was relatively quick to work up and I only had to frog the plushie once. I think the shades of brown look really good together and I really do like that I added the pink blush underneath the eyes. Here's a side-by-side with the original Jellycat. Let me know in the comments how you think I did and which Jellycat I should crochet next for this challenge. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more crochet content. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok if you want to see more up-to-date crochet content, and check out my Etsy shop for cute crochet patterns and plushies. I hope you enjoyed this video.